What up, ninjas? Just getting to the end of my night here teaching, and I just finished up a mixed class. It was a fun class, and we spent the night working on grappling with our eyes closed. That was pretty cool. And then and if you've never grappled with your eyes closed, I totally recommend this. This should be an important part of your training. And we'll talk about this a little bit tonight as we kind of move forward with this conversation. So I've got this class. I got about maybe 12 people rolling. And I said, all right, guys, we're going to roll with our eyes closed. You're not allowed to open your eyes. I will make sure that you don't run into each other. So let's roll. And then we rolled, and they rolled for about 10 or so minutes. And then I asked for some feedback on what'd you get from the roll? What were some of the experiences? What were some of the observations? Or what were you feeling? So on and so forth. And one person raised their hand and said that what they really liked about the eyes closed is they sort of lost track of who their partner was. They forgot about who their partner was. It was just arms and legs, and I was just grabbing onto them, and I just lost track of who they were. And I said, yeah, I know that feeling. It's when the grappling just becomes about limbs and leverage. And the fun part, when you have your eyes closed, you forget about who your partner is. You forget about what belt rank they are. You forget about, it's my buddy Keith, and we roll together all the time, and he's my homie, and blah, 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 blah. You forget about all that, and you're just rolling with the arms and the legs and the body and the leverage and all of that. And there's a lot of value in not identifying with the person that you're rolling with. When you don't identify with who you're rolling with, there's a lot of value in that. Because you could look down at their belt and be like, this guy's a blue belt, and I'm a white belt, and man, if I'm going to get my ass kicked because it's a blue belt, or they're going to run through me, or I got to be mindful. I don't want to upset them, or if you know what I mean? So all of these weird things can kind of come into play, just based on identifying with the rank, let alone like who this person is. But when you start to let go of that, you're a lot freer when you're rolling. You're not anchored to all of these constraints that you place on yourself. Well, it's a blue belt, or it's a black belt, or I'm only this, or I'm only that, or it's this person, and last time we rolled this happened. Versus just being completely in the present moment and letting go of who it is. And it was interesting because when people roll with their eyes closed, they tend to roll a little bit slower and more careful and more conscious, and there's this nice flow and rhythm that starts to happen, and you don't see people going outside of that rhythm. It's not like you're rolling and then all of a sudden your partner starts going harder, so you go harder, and it becomes a contest about who can resist and use more strength. It becomes more of a contest of staying in the rhythm and in the present moment. And what I noticed and I started to observe tonight with the class was I could look around and watch everybody rolling with their eyes closed. So you got like 12 people rolling with their eyes closed, and they're all rolling. The entire class is rolling at the same rhythm, yet their eyes aren't open. They're not tuned into it consciously on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, the entire room was rolling at the same exact pace. It wasn't like there was these quick bursts over there and this guy's resisting and this person's not. It was literally like the entire class was in the same exact rhythm. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see. And I don't know if with their eyes open, if that same type of rhythm would have happened. And I got thinking about this even further, like when that person said, yeah, I forget about who I'm rolling with, and it's just limbs and leverage. And I thought about, well, what about forgetting about who you are for a moment too, or at least how you identify with yourself, and who you bring onto the mats. Like, I'm a black belt, I'm a spider ninja, I'm like Bidwell, I'm this, I'm that. And you start to identify with all of those things, and it can become a lot of baggage that you bring onto the mats. Okay, well maybe, I'm a blue belt, I'm gonna roll with a white belt. I don't want them to get position on me. This guy's pretty tough, or this girl's pretty tough, and I don't want to get mounted, I don't want to get submitted. So all of that starts to come into play, and you tend to be more tentative and more cautious in your role versus just being in the moment and locking up with limbs and leverage. And so there's a lot of power in the idea of letting go of who you are for a moment, maybe not identifying with your belt for a moment. Or even better yet, you start to have an identity crisis. You don't identify with your belt. Maybe you identify with today being a black belt. Maybe you think like when you come on today to class, when you roll, I'm gonna roll like a black belt. I'm not gonna tell anybody this. I'm not gonna be out there like, yeah, I'm a black belt now. Ha ha ha, watch out everybody. No, it's not like that. It's more like on a private level. I'm going to try to roll like what I think a black belt rolls like. And then how do you know what a black belt rolls like? Well, hopefully you've rolled with an instructor who's a black belt. But if you've not, just roll with what you envision that to be like. Envision what you picture yourself to be like when you're a black belt. Or maybe it's not a black belt, maybe it's a purple belt, or maybe it's the next belt above you. When I was a young martial artist coming up, for me it was always about never identifying with my belt, always chasing a belt, always trying to be at that next belt level. And always looking at if I was, even back when I was doing karate, if I was whatever belt, a blue belt or something, and there was a person that was a higher belt, I wanted to go harder and stronger and better than them. And then in jiu-jitsu, it was the same thing, always chasing belts. So maybe it can be about you identifying with another belt, or maybe not identifying with the belts at all, and just trying to be in the present moment, conscious of what's happened, completely conscious of what's happening, not identifying with a person, place, or thing, and just enjoying the role and enjoying the time on the mats. And there's so much value in that too. So when you're rolling, enjoy the rolls, be conscious, because to me the ultimate value of jiu-jitsu is the present moment awareness. There's not many parts of your life where you can be completely tuned into what you're doing and tune out of everything else. Think about it. When you come to a jiu-jitsu class, are you checking your phone every 5 minutes? Are you thinking about the next thing that you have to do? Are you thinking about business meetings or projects or any of that? No, you can't, because the second you do that, you're getting tapped out, you're being choked, you're being submitted. You can't do that. It's not a functional way to train jiu-jitsu. And then the value there is, how can I do that in every aspect of my life? How can I be conscious when I'm with my kids? How can I be conscious when I'm in a conversation with another person? How can I bring that same kind of awareness to every aspect of my life? And that becomes the practice. That's the practice on the mats, and that's the practice off the mats too. So as you're going about your week, have a little bit of an identity crisis this week, and maybe let go of who you think you are. Because, I'm not, I don't identify I'm not Mike Spider Ninja Bidwell, the professor, 24 hours a day. Yes, that's the umbrella of my life. Jiu-Jitsu is always there as a part of my life, but there's many parts of my life where I don't identify with that completely. There's other things that I like to do and other things that inspire me, and jiu-jitsu just helps, amplify those and make all of those other things in my life even better and more profound. And, so go about your week, have an awesome training week, and again, maybe let go of who you think you are and be open to all new possibilities, and maybe open to identifying with a much higher level than you're at right now, to allow yourself to get to that next level. We always hear fake it to make it, but it's really fake it to become it. So good luck becoming it. Happy training. Os.